that's the thing that I want to get out of today is more of just the anticipation to expect my bias to possibly get flipped on, if that makes sense. So that's what I want to get out of today. Another thing I want to get out of today, and I want you guys to recognize, is I'm okay with taking a loss sometimes, right? Losing does not mean that you are doing something bad, and winning does not mean that you are doing something good. I want to talk about that for a little bit because a lot of misconception and a lot of things that end up causing traders to be held back from being profitable and be held back from having success is the fact that many people, when they first come into the trading space, or you're early in your journey, you know, a year in, less than a year in, a lot of you guys don't know the rights and wrongs. And when you think that you make money, you think that you're doing something right. And when you're losing money, you think you're doing something wrong. And these things end up pushing you into a direction where you end up building, you know, bad habits that, you know, end up sticking with you. And then you end up losing. And you're like, oh my God, I don't know what the problem is, right? This is a fine loss to take. I am okay with taking these losses, right? The losses that we take together, or at least for me, I don't know, again, I'm never going to know how you guys trade based off of, you know, your position sizing, right? You have to ask yourself that, and that's your job to understand that. But for myself, if I go in today and I put risk on the table and I end up getting stopped out on a bias that I had conviction in, that is a loss that I should be taking, right? Now, there's losses that I shouldn't be taking, right? That I have taken in the past where it's like, maybe it's a spontaneous trade. It doesn't even fit my bias. It's not a setup that I trade, right? Those are bad losses, right? Those are bad losses, right? There's a difference between losing money and knowing that everything that you did that day is right, right? I would much rather you come to me and say, Justin, you know, I took a loss today. I'm down, you know, $1,000, but, you know, I took the setup that I really liked today. I followed my plan. You know, I had good proper position sizing and I stayed patient and I took the setup. I'm going to say, dude, that's fantastic. You know, you lost. That's fine. It happens, right? Losing is a part of the game. That's another day at the office. You come back tomorrow with the same mindset. You continue to practice those habits, and I guarantee you over a long run, you're going to be profitable, right? One day is just a single step in your journey. One day should not phase you whatsoever, especially if you're having good risk. The only way that it's going to phase you is if you're over leveraging, you're letting losses get to you, you're going on tilt, and then you dig the hole deeper for yourself, right? Now, if you come to me and you say, Justin, I'm up $1,000 today, I'm up $5,000 today, and I'm going to say, that's awesome. You know, what trade did you take? You're going to say, well, you know, I took this trade, you know, I kind of had a feeling it was going to go up, but there wasn't really any setup, and I kind of over leveraged. I had like 5 contracts. I normally trade 2 contracts or 3 contracts, but I entered 5 on this. You know, my stop loss was really wide. You know, I wanted to give it a lot of room. So even if I lost this, I would have lost like 5K or like 10K, you know, whatever it is. I'm going to say, dude, that's fucking fool's gold. You basically just made fool's gold because that money has no value that you just made, because all of the money that you just made from trading a terrible trade, from having bad risk management, from having a bad position sizing, you're not gonna keep that money. The market is eventually gonna take that back from you because you've been building those bad habits for so long, right? So don't get caught in the trap of thinking just because I lost money, I'm doing something wrong, or because I won, I'm doing something right. Do not get caught in that trap, right? You could be doing everything perfectly and still lose, right? Losing is a part of the game. The best traders in the world will have losing trades, right? That does not mean that they are doing something wrong. It is just a part of the game, right? Now, if you go into the day and you make money and you don't admit to yourself that you did something wrong, that's when the problem starts to arise. You have to be able to push your ego to the side and say, hey, I came into the day, broke my rules, I got lucky, I can't do this again. If this happens again, I know that's not going to work for me, right? Do not allow yourself to be like, oh, fuck, I over leveraged today. I made like 5K, bro. I could make like 10K tomorrow, right? That is when you're going to fucking blow up and you're going to, right? That's when, again, we've all been there where it's like, you blow up an account and right after you're like, what the fuck did I just do, right? Don't have that happen again to you, right? Because I'm sure everybody's been through it. So, want to talk a little bit about that, right? Cover again. Don't think that losing is meaning you're doing something bad, and don't think that winning is meaning you're doing something good, all right? All right. Try to take an inverse fair value gap on ES and my limit didn't get filled, and then my dumbass entered in late, got chopped up. All right. Again, recognizing when and when not to trade, right? If I'm being honest, guys, most of you know when and when not to trade because I'm constantly nailing it in your brain, right? I'm constantly nailing it in your brain. Even when we're in the trading day, guys, I will say, hey, guys, you should probably step away. You guys don't trade this, blah, 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 blah. How many times and be honest with yourself here. I want you guys to ask this question and be truthful to yourself. How many times have you known in the back of your head, yeah, I probably shouldn't be trading this, and then you still do? And then you probably end up losing, right? How many times have you been like, I probably shouldn't be trading this, and then you actually get a good trade and you win? Very, very few amount of times where you be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't trade this, and then you actually take a win, right? Most of the times you don't have the discipline to step away. That's the problem, is I want you guys to be able to have the discipline to be like, hey, we just had a fucking 170-point run today to the upside. I need a lot of structure to validate a new draw here. I'm going to just scalp a 15-second here and get chopped up, right? But when the good setups present itself, you don't have the fucking confidence to take it because you've been taking shit fucking setups this whole time, right? That's the problem. And then you get upset about it. Is you go into the market trading shit market conditions because you don't have the discipline to not. And then when the market actually does give you good conditions and good setups, you no longer have the confidence to take it because you've been getting stopped out on all these fucking bullshit. And then when you miss out on the trade that you should have taken, you get upset at yourself because you're like, fuck, that was a great setup. Why didn't I take that? Blah, 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 blah. And you wonder what the problem is. How many of you guys did I just describe right there? So the problem is not the outside factor. The problem is being able to control when you're going to take a loss, right? There is so many unnecessary losses that you guys take. And I do the same thing. Sometimes there's unnecessary losses that I take as well, right? But it's being able to look back and say, actually use it to your advantage. Say, dude, this was a fucking stupid thing. Look back in your journal and say, look at all of these unnecessary losses that I have taken over the past month. What is the thing that's in common with these things? I take a trade after a big run. I take a trade, after a run on liquidity way before structure. I'm over leveraging when we're just consolidating. I'm forcing trades here and there. If you're not actually thinking consciously about those decisions, then it's not going to go away, right? The problem with guys, the reason most people are unprofitable is because they can't consciously think about the mistakes they're making. They think that it's some factor. It's them versus the market. Guys, it's not you versus the market. It's you versus yourself. Trading will always be you versus yourself. And until you can respect that and finally come to peace with that and realize that it's just you versus you, figure out what the problem is. Don't cheat yourself. Don't push your ego to this, or don't just be egoed and fucking like brush off the problems. Push your ego to the side and ask yourself what the problems are, right? Because that's the only way you're going to be able to improve. I was very disciplined when I was paper trading, where I would only take trades I was very confident in because I knew making money was irrelevant and the only part that mattered was the actual quality of the trade itself. But ever since starting a funded account, I feel like I've taken 5 steps backwards because now instead of the quality of trades, I'm focused on trying to hit profit goals. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. You know what the problem is. I don't even have to tell you. You just told me what the problem is, right? Guys, what do I always say? What do I always say? What's the number one thing I always say? Focus on building good habits, not making money. This is a perfect example. When you're trading on paper and I say, if I give you a paper account and I say, focus, take the best setups you can and see where you get it in a month, right? And you come back to me and say, here, Justin, I took all these good trades. I tried my best. I was focused on, taking good trades, and the account grew to this. I'm going to say, dude, that's great. I give you a funded account and I say, focus on building good habits. You don't care about building good habits because you now have a funded account. You have the opportunity to actually make a tangible fucking good here. You have a fucking opportunity to actually make some money. That is what is in your head. You no longer care about taking good setups. You no longer care about having the patience to take good setups. When you are trading, consciously or unconsciously, whatever it is for specifically you, in the back of your head, most of you guys have the thought that you just need to you just need to have a green P&L at the end of the day, right? And the problem is Diego, you're exactly right. You feel like you've gone 5 steps backwards, and because you're focused on getting funded, you're focused on hitting a profit goal, you're focused on having a green P&L at the end of the day because you can post it on social media and not look like a buffoon. You're focused on fucking, not being, laughed at by your friends. You're focused on you're focused on proving your parents wrong. It's all of these things that are holding you back that you don't realize. All of these things are holding you back. It's the thought process of what you're trying to attain that's holding you back. You're so focused on the goal instead of the process. You're so focused on the goal instead of the process. You cannot achieve the goal that you want, which is financial freedom, to be a profitable trader, all of these things, to be funded, to prove your parents wrong, to, all these things, to prove yourself wrong, all these things. You can't do that unless you walk the journey and you walk the walk. And if you're only focused on those things in the end goal, you will never be able to walk the full journey to get there. Again, you're the only person in this game that is going to keep you accountable. That's it. You're the only person. There's no one else that is going to keep you accountable. I mean, I'll try my best too. I'll whoop your guys' ass. That's my whole goal. I'll try to keep you accountable, but you are the one that actually has to make the change. Not my trade, but I did see someone in the core take this based off the setup, and when I saw it, I thought, damn, good shit. I don't know if he'll send it, but I just wanted your opinion on it because he didn't send it. Yeah, this trade looked good, but again, the risk. This is not you're not catching this risk reward, bro. Like you're not catching this, bro. You're catching a 1-to-1, if that. You're catching a 1-to-1, if that. Right? Like you're not catching this. You're not catching this, and you're not catching this exit here. If you did, congrats. Like congrats. You're most likely gambling. Like if you caught this exact sell and this exact exit, wow. You gotta know something I don't. So do I think this is a good trade? If you caught it, sure. But most likely you're not. So again, it's hindsight. This is the way that I think about it, right? This is the way I think about it. And I want you guys to think about it logically as well. How many times are you going to see this kind of move? How many times? Maybe, I would say rarely, maybe once a week, if that, right? Probably not, right? Probably not even that, right? Where you get a 100-point move in 5 minutes, right? 100-point move in 5 minutes. When is that going to happen? Maybe, let's say once a month. Let's just be generous and say once a week. Okay, if I enter a trade like this, and I put my stop, or I put my PT all the way down here, why the fuck am I trying to catch this kind of move knowing it happens once a week? How many times do you think that's going to happen, right? So again, it's understanding. A win does not mean you had a good trade. A loss does not mean you had a bad trade. If you caught this fucking trade and you got this exact sell and this exact exit, wow, props to you, bro. But guess what? You're never going to fucking catch this move ever again. And you're most likely going to take a shit ton of losses after this because you're going to be trying to expect and try to catch this exact same move after you've just taken this trade, right? And you're not going to catch it, right? You're going to catch it maybe 1 out of 10 trades, right? So again, it's all hindsight. Why try to catch this kind of move knowing it doesn't happen every day? Guess what? Guess what kind of move does happen every day? 5-10 points. That's it. 5-10 points. Find a model, a consistent model that you can catch 5 to 10 points every single day. That is all you need. Because guess what? 5 to 10 points happens every single fucking day. So why try to catch a fucking 100-point move when it doesn't happen every single day? Like, it doesn't matter. Guess what? Trading is a leverage-based game. You could have this exact same sell, this exact same PT here, and I could take fucking this trade here and still make more money than you on this fucking sell here. Guess what? Because trading is a leverage-based game. You want to know what's great about that? You can infinitely scale. So guess what? I don't fucking care if you caught a 100-point move. I don't fucking care that you caught a 200-point move. I don't care. Guess what? You can't do it consistently. You can't do it consistently. When you see all of these people on Twitter and all of these people on fucking social media being like, yo, we caught a 100-point move today. Guess what? You did not catch a 100-point move today. You did not, right? Because guess what? You alerted a sell probably. You alerted a buy, and it's just continually running, and you're going to say that you caught a 100-point move, right? Do not cheat yourself. Do not fall into this fucking, this goddamn scam, okay? Because I'm sick of fucking seeing it because it's actually sad. All of these people that end up cheating themselves don't. It's fucking bullshit, okay? Guess what? You're not going to catch this move every day, so stop trying to catch home runs, right? Get comfortable trading 5 to 10 points and get consistent at it. You will outperform every motherfucker if you are consistent with trading 5 to 10 points than you are trying to catch a massive fucking move like this. So guess what? I do not care if you catch this move. You're most likely not trading well. All right. So what you're saying is that in your eyes, there was no A+ setup to catch that move to the upside and downside today? No. For me personally, no. And there doesn't need to be. That's guys. I'm glad you said that. God, you started another fucking rant. There doesn't need to be, right? There doesn't need to be. You guys try to catch a setup or try to see an opportunity for every single move in the market. Guess what? There isn't fucking one. You guys just don't have the patience to actually wait for what I'm telling you to wait for and wait for the model that you know works. So why are you not waiting for it? And why are you trying to fucking find some secret in the market, bro? Like, and I have this, I'm not saying this with heat. I'm just saying this because I'm passionate about it. And guess what? And okay, I'll say this too. I hope you guys know that when I like go off like this, it's literally just me yelling at myself. It's just my thoughts that I've been through my entire journey where, again, I have made all of these mistakes. It's all me. I'm just saying this to myself, right? There is no other opportunity in the market than what you know is going to work for you, right? Guess what? We have a huge move here. Most people are going to come to me and be like, Justin, where was the entry here? How could I have caught this 52-point move on NQ or 200-point move on NQ or ES, whatever it is? Guess what? You fucking couldn't have, bro. There was no setup in our specific edge. Now, go trade fucking VWAP and EMAs, and then maybe you can catch a move and have terrible risk management. Sure, go for it. But at least you'll have, you know, the satisfaction of catching a 100-point move instead of fucking making real consistent money, right? If that's what you want, go for it. But if you want to make consistent money, you got to be able to be like, hey, guess what? I don't fucking care if we just pumped. I don't fucking care if we just dumped. Guess what? The real secret to profitability and one of the aha moments for me in my career was not giving a fuck what the market does unless my edge is present. I do not care if we pump. I do not care if we dump. If there is not some sort of edge or some sort of draw or some sort of liquidity being swept or some sort of PD array getting validated or invalidated or anything that has to do with my edge, I don't give a fuck what the market is doing. I don't care. And I don't care to catch some opportunity that wasn't even there to begin with. So when we get a big move like this, no, there's no setup there for me. Now, you can maybe create a model for yourself. Go for it, right? If you can create a model that works for you and you can build conviction with it, then absolutely go for it. Go for it. At that point in time, I'll say, dude, that fire. Absolutely. That's fucking sick. That's exactly what I want you guys to do. If you want to catch a move like this, you have to develop a model that has consistently been back tested and will give you conviction. Then I will be like, all right, sure, go for it, right? But if you don't have a model and you don't have conviction for a setup like this, you don't have anything that you can consistently teach, right? The best way that I want you guys to get to is, I don't think you know enough about something, or you know about enough about yourself, or you know enough about your edge if you can't teach it to a fucking 5-year-old. If you cannot teach your edge to a 5-year-old, you don't fucking know what you're doing. You don't, right? Sorry, dude, I'm heated tonight, bro. But I really hope you know. It's not even because I don't give a fuck that it's a red day. I don't care. I could care less. It's just another day at the office. I'm just passionate about this. And guys, when I'm ranting, this is me literally just ranting to myself, because all of the problems I see with you guys and all of the things that I say are things that I wish I could tell my past self to save me from all the hardship that I went through. Like, that's all it is. It's not meant to push any of you guys down. It's meant to boost you up and motivate you and push you in the right direction. So I'm hoping you guys take it that way and not take it in a negative way.